You ever notice how people treat middle grade books like they're easy? Like, oh yeah, just write something simple for kids. It shouldn't be that hard. Like, no, middle grade is one of the most technically demanding types of storytelling you can write. And if you mess it up, kids will drop your book faster than adults will drop a gym membership in February. So while I draw some poses for Braidy from my Braidy von Althuis series, I want to talk about why writing 5 middle grade award-winning fantasy books taught me more about storytelling than anything else I have ever done. Hey, I'm Tycho, fantasy author, illustrator, and someone who has spent way too much time thinking about why certain stories work and others just quietly die. I really didn't want this to be a watch me draw video, but more so of a this is why storytelling is harder than you think and why kids are your toughest audience kind of video. If you like storytelling, fantasy books, or art, be sure to drop me a subscribe. I am an independent artist and an author. I'm very small, and I would love it if you came and hung out in my strange and weird world. Here is the first thing people underestimate. Kids have absolutely zero patience for bad storytelling. Adults will finish a bad book out of guilt, or hate read it. Maybe they have an obligation to it, or maybe they just spent $27 on the thing and they're committed to the bit. But kids will just stop reading the book. If they hate it, they will not touch it ever again. They don't need to leave you a polite, I liked it review, or they don't need to tell you to your face that they stopped reading it. They'll just put it down and it'll disappear into the void. You have maybe 10 pages to convince them that your story is worth their time. And that means that every single scene needs to grip them. You can't really have vibes or lingering or things existing for aesthetic reasons. That pacing has to move. And that's why when I design Braidy, even in poses, even on artwork, I'm thinking about clarity of action. Can you tell what he's feeling in 1 second? Can you tell what he's about to do? Because if you can't, the story doesn't land. And pacing for the Braidy books was the same way. That thing has to be the easiest, funnest, fastest roller coaster of a read of all time. People love to say that middle grade stories are simple and they're for kids, but they're not simple. They have to be extremely precise, and there's a huge difference there. You don't get to hide behind flowery words and complexity and long aesthetic descriptions of scenes and characters. You cannot bury weak storytelling under 10 layers of lore, political systems, poetic ambiguity, and sex scenes. If the emotional core isn't clear, that story collapses. That means that your character motivation has to be immediate, your stakes have to be understandable, and your world building has to be really, really interesting. When I was writing Braidy von Althuis, I had to constantly ask, does this make sense emotionally on the first read? Not the third, not the reread, the first time anybody ever looks at the paragraph, because kids don't reread confusing books. And adults don't really either. They abandon them. It takes some hardcore readers to sit through stuff that's very dense, and I do applaud those readers. But when writing middle grade, whether an adult or a child is reading it, the books have to be fun, fast, and enjoyable. Here is where middle grade hits hardest. You can't rely on abstract stakes. You can't just say, the kingdom is in danger. And if you do that, the kid will go, cool, why should I care? But instead, you have to ground everything in personal stakes. For Braidy, that means belonging, safety, identity, family, trust. Things kids understand immediately, because the truth is, kids are constantly navigating systems that they didn't build. School systems, family expectations, social rules, all of those things are insanely important to kids. So when you write about characters trapped in systems that they didn't choose, that's incredibly relatable for them, and that's where the emotional resonance comes from. By the way, if you've been loving Braidy's art so far, you can buy the 5-book middle grade series from either me, my website, or Amazon. You can learn more about the book series, the awards it's won, and what each book is about, as well as find cool extra things like more art and the Spotify playlist that goes along with the series by clicking the link to my website in the description. Middle grade is often where readers first encounter stories about difference, identity, injustice, and power. And historically, books for kids have been kind of garbage. Like, I think back on the Fun with Dick and Jane period. That's gross. Kids aren't stupid. They know when something feels really important. And that's why I intentionally wrote Braidy von Althuis with folklore roots. It stars a blended family, it has a main character of color, and is also loaded with characters with disabilities. These characters don't neatly fit into expectations because the world isn't neat or perfect or 100% one way. Kids deserve stories that respect their ability to understand that, and also respect that they want stories that reflect the real world around them. Writing one book teaches you how to finish something, but writing a series teaches you how to sustain something. Across 5 books, you have to evolve characters without ruining their character arcs, escalate stakes without burning either your characters or the kids out, and keep readers invested long term. Most importantly, you have to trust that your audience is growing with you, because the kid who starts book 1 is likely not the same reader by book 5. They're older, they're smarter, more aware, and your story has to grow with them. Over the course of 5 books, Braidy does have a single birthday, and he goes from being 10 to 11, and for a kid that is 10 or 11, that is a pretty big difference. Braidy's a really smart kid, and I love that he has the ability to adapt to a lot of situations. I just absolutely adore him as a character, and I know readers do too. It tickles me to know that there are kids out there who read this book, and this is one of the best things that they've ever read because for the first time they feel seen. Oh, and since I've been drawing him this whole time, quick introduction. Meet Braidy. He's a 10-year-old kid with a wildly magical family who's just trying to fit in, have fun, and figure out who he is, which is a lot harder when your life involves strange creatures, chaotic relatives, and problems that don't have easy answers. The Braidy von Althuis series is a 5-book middle grade fantasy for readers aged 8 to 11, but honestly, a lot of adults end up loving it too. If you like a series of unfortunate events, the Addams Family, or stories that are a little weird, a little emotional, and very sincere with nice, cozy, happy endings, this is for you. At its core, the series is about things kids deal with every day: bullying, guilt, grief, self-esteem, and accountability, but told through a lens of magic, humor, and found family. Sometimes, the best way to talk about real things is to make them just a little bit fantastical. So yeah, middle grade isn't easy. It's not simple. It's precision storytelling for one of the most honest audiences you'll ever write for. And that's what makes it worth it. So if you want more videos about storytelling, visual development, concept art, and how to actually build stories that stick, you should subscribe. I'd love to see you again. And if you want to see Braidy in action, you can check out my award-winning Braidy von Althuis series linked in the description below. Happy reading, and I'll see you in the next one.